I, F16, refused to trust my mother anymore because of this. When I was 10 years old, she and my dad separated. They never got married, and she married a man from Canada. The guy wasn't a bad guy at first. He came once home with sweets and gifts for me and my older siblings, and often encouraged me to stay up late to watch a movie, which was fine because it was the holidays. But then school started again. I had just gotten into trouble for watching something inappropriate with my friends at school, and when Mom found out, she flipped out. My brothers, 26 and 28 years old, didn't want to stay inside for it, and my sister, 32 years old, went upstairs to talk to her boyfriend. When my mom was cussing me out, my stepfather was there listening to the whole thing. He told her to calm down, and he'll talk to me in the morning. I thought he was my savior at the time. The next morning, I awoke to a strange feeling. I felt someone's hands in my underwear. I turned around quickly, seeing that it was my stepfather. I was scared. I threw a pillow on him and went downstairs, scared and confused. I saw my mom in the kitchen, tempted to tell her. But she started scolding me for last night. I couldn't tell her. I was afraid I was going to get into trouble for that too. When she was done, I barely heard a word of what she said. I was still confused about what I woke up to. He came downstairs, smiling and acting like nothing happened. I kept thinking to myself, maybe it was a mistake? But it wasn't. On my way to school, he turned his phone to me, saying he wanted to show me something. It was a P0RN vid. I looked up at him, scared and disgusted. It kept happening, waking up to him in my bed, touching me. In the car, he would coax me to touch him. And then, as it prolonged, his demands kept getting worse. I won't go into details, but it was bad. On my 12th birthday, my big sister pulled me aside, saying she found a little note. I wrote it the very first day I was touched. On the note, it basically said that I was scared of my S3 Sue at Ali Abu's V3 father. She wanted to know the details, but I was scared. I was trembling, wondering if it's for the best. My sister called my other siblings inside, and then called my mom. When she came, I saw my stepfather following her. That's when I froze. I didn't know what to tell her. I panicked, telling them to leave it alone for that night, and I'll explain in the morning. I saw the doubt in my mother's eyes the minute I said that. I went to bed with my sister. I woke up the next morning, my stepfather nowhere to be seen. I thought it was over. Maybe she kicked him out. But when I sat down, my siblings stared at me accusingly, and my mother started scolding me. She told me that lying of such things was terrible, that there are others out there going through this, and it wasn't a joke. I was shocked. They didn't believe me? They thought I was lying? After all that they said they would do to listen? I started crying, begging them to listen to me. But they didn't. My sister ignored me, going to work. My brothers left the house, saying they will go play cricket. And my mother? She sent me to school, my stepfather driving me. He didn't say anything, just drove me while I stared blankly at my school clothes. A few months later, he started $0 me again. And I didn't let my family know this time. I let it happen because why would they believe me? His demands were far worse than before. At one point, he almost ped me. If I didn't bite him, he probably would have. He often let me his phone to play a game, so I used his phone one day, recording him doing his usual stuff to me, and send it to my private email. I kept it, waiting for a chance to use it. And then the day came. It was New Year's Eve. I was 14 now, and I went to New York with my aunt to spend the night. I heard my mother yelling on the phone, saying that my stepfather left the house, leaving them in debt from other people. He tore my family apart. My sister was disowned because he lied to my mother. My brothers argued day and night because he drove them apart. And I was still being essayed. When I heard my mother yelling, I thought maybe I should send her the little proof I had of him doing these things to me. I sent it, removing all signs that made it seem like it was from me. I knew the moment when my mother saw the video, and I wasn't surprised she didn't do anything. She went outside with my aunt, talking to her. Later, my aunt took me for a little drive, asking me if I sent the video. I broke down, crying and explaining I did. I told her everything. My aunt comforted me, saying they'll take care of it, to not worry. She instructed me to go home and to try to not show any signs that I sent videos to my mom. She explained it would be better to talk about it when my uncle comes home, which would be the next day. I agreed, and when I went home, I plastered on a fake smile and continued as normal. Later that night, my mom asked me privately if I sent the videos. I told her yes, expecting her to try to understand what happened, when or why. But she didn't ask any of those things. She just got upset. Yes, upset. She yelled at me, asking me why am I embarrassing her in another state rather than telling her at home. She told me that I was being selfish by not telling her first and telling relatives. When I argued back, she stared at me like I committed a crime. She left the room, leaving me cold and sad by what she did. I cried all night, realizing my mother wasn't the hero I thought she was. When we arrived home, I thought she was going to tell my siblings what happened, especially since they refused to speak to me the same. But she didn't. She told me that it's for the best. They don't know what happened. They still don't know. It's been so long since my mother and I spoke normally. Every time I try to speak to her, she accuses me of keeping secrets and WH0ing around. I cry every time she says so. One day, I had to go to an interview because she was looking for my ex-stepfather, and the interviewer asked me if I wanted my mother to stay or to leave. I chose for her to leave. I didn't want to say anything about him in front of her. After the interview, she yelled at me again, saying I was just so focused on embarrassing her. I stared at her, furious, because why am I the one at wrong? We went home silence. I refused to speak to my mother properly anymore. My sister emails me from Canada now, joking about the time I falsely accused my ex-stepfather of things he didn't do. You know what's the ironic thing? She is a humanitarian worker. She is supposed to know the signs of Abu's 3, and yet she doesn't believe I was SA'd.